Hey all, so last war of the season, and we did some math thanks to matchmaking. We are pretty sure that we have locked masters, but you still enter every war hoping to win, and I certainly enter every war trying to make sure that the people I assign don't die, and trying to make sure that I don't die. And so this one is no different. Now, I believe this is actually the only hype fight we have this war, and we are just using him as a Killmonger counter. So that's fully relying on the special 2 armor break. We're going to go ahead and bait this heavy here. The reason we do that is so that we hit him for the first time while he is at 0 power, therefore reverberation damage is not going to hurt us. Had a bit of an input problem there, so that instead of dashing in and throwing a heavy, like I planned to, after that first special 2 stunned, we just kind of dawdled. So that did cost us some momentum and kind of threatened us taking some reverb damage on that special 2. Thankfully, it was timed just right and we got away with it. And then now the fight's just over. So that's really all there was to it. And even if we had taken some reverb damage, like I said, this is Hype's only fight, so not a problem. And then next up, we are going to go ahead and put Odin pre-fights down for Valkyrie. Not because she needs them here, but because we are taking lane 8 with her later, and giving her those 4 extra buffs at the start of the fight is just going to make the whole rich get richer side of things much, much easier. Now, we could have, of course, sent somebody like Hood also with Odin pre-fights, or just anyone else to those, but Venom is one of the few champions that can beat out Odin himself on Rich Get Richer, and so having Valkyrie with all of these is going to be helpful. And then we also have a Doom 151, which is a fight that my friend Optimus Chills that I mentioned before has taken before, but I have not. So I was definitely a little bit nervous because it is my last fight of the season, and for those of you who've been keeping track, I have not died yet this season. So, a bit nervous about that. Anyway, this fight against I-Hulk is very simple. Like, we might land a hit or two like that. It doesn't matter. We're not planning on landing enough hits to actually cause strike counter Furies to accumulate. And because we will be throwing some specials as we go, we're still going to reset strike counter, like here. And so there's just not a lot of risk to this. I didn't necessarily need the special one, but I do, as I've mentioned before, kind of like it because it just helps my block proficiency in case I need it, and means that if I do get back to the special 2, which probably isn't going to happen here because we have class advantage, then we have a much larger Fury from all of those effects built up. Doesn't really matter here, probably could have run straight to the special 3, but it will matter in some other places. And so part of me kind of just wanted to make sure that I tested it, if I'm being honest. Anyway, plenty of buffs here. We've got our Pierce. We're doing all that instant bleed damage into him. And also, as I've mentioned before, I-Hulk does not gain Gamma from blocked hits, period. So Valkyrie is just very, very good at making sure he doesn't ever heal. And then, of course, she is good for Conduit because she can take out opponents by throwing specials without knocking them down. Very powerful piece of utility. There we go, I-Hulk is down, and we now fast forward to Venom in Tier 2. As you can see, my friend Work in Progress did clinch a Deathless season with some very difficult fights this last war, so huge congrats to him. And yeah, as you can see, Venom starts out with 3, so we got a little bit lucky there. He didn't proc that 4th buff that he can get. Got a little bit lucky with him doubling up on Cruelty. And yeah, thus far, this is going great, but we are about to have a bit of a problem here, because yeah, I didn't want to throw the special 3. I could have paced that better. This right here isn't really an issue, though. The special 3 is quite good. She gets her evade charges, I believe. She gets another combo shield, and she does inflict and intimidate, all of which very good for her. Yeah, she did get more evade charges. So all of that's fine. We got a little bit less lucky on Venom's next two buffs. We are no longer winning Rich Get Richer, and then he procs an armor, and so now we are actually losing if we land the dexterity. On top of that, I had this very frustrating series of events here where I was trying to dex and bait out his special one, and 3 times in a row, it blocked instead of dexing, and so then he threw a heavy, and basically just nothing about that worked great. We did end up getting clipped by the end of the special too. That's going to cost me some potions. Probably should have invulned for this one, but thankfully it didn't cost us. Beyond that, and then we throw the special 2. He does block this one. I was probably a little bit late on the release for the first one, hence him running into it. Or the AI was just rude. Anyway, Venom down, few potions poor, we head into Surfer. This one should be simpler, because even though there's aspect of evolution and that is obnoxious, Surfer just is not going to gain as many buffs as Venom, and so I'm not really concerned about any part of this. It's not a big deal if I do land hits against him. We don't want to, of course, but yeah, it's not really that big a deal, as long as we still land most of our hits into block. Gonna go ahead and throw this special 2 into block, reverse the combo. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I remember what happened. I did medium, medium, and then the game lagged right here. So I hit heavy. It happens. Anyway, we reversed our combo again, and we once again are throwing a special 3. This time because we got hit in the face. Love that. Good news is that enough of these armor breaks are probably going to stick that we will heal back up as long as we don't take any more hits. And so we're just going to go ahead, keep building combo into his block, keep baiting specials. This is not how I planned for this fight to go exactly, but we are still very much in a safe zone. So one of the armor breaks sticks, that's perfect because we get the healing, but minimal despair. And now we are up to 3 Pierce. We throw the special 2 into block with 3 Pierce and 2 Bulwark. It does a bunch of damage. Doesn't do quite as much as it could, but very happy with that. Now we just need to get him to block again. I'll accept that because we can hit into him, back off, and immediately throw the special 2. Does it finish it? Yes, it does. Alright. So like I said, that one was a bit lower stress than Venom, but this one is much higher stress because Doom can nullify buffs off of his opponent even just by blocking if he has the aura up. We're not going to do anything to stop him from getting the aura, and if we do land a hit on him, we're almost certainly going to have the precision from dexterity up, which is going to trigger Mystic Dispersion, allow him to throw another special 1, and probably get another aura. So we just have to factor a certain amount of dancing into this fight. I dueled for it quite a bit to make sure that I was comfortable with that. I also found out that there's something kind of annoying about Doom's AI or hitbox, one of the two. But the trick that I used on Gallon that Bitter Steel pointed out, of dashing back as the opponent dashes back, if you do that against Doom the way that I was doing it against Gallon, my experience in duels was overwhelmingly that he would just dash right at you. And so I actually got cornered in several duels doing that. So that wasn't fun. Anyway, should have inverted my combo earlier than 16. I had an opportunity on a previous combo and just didn't. So that was a bit of a problem, but it's not the end of the world. We're just dancing out the aura. I do think that throwing the special 1 first helped us an absolute ton here. Not because we necessarily need the bulwark, we're not blocking at all, but because when I do throw my special 2, I want the fight to be over. Building up to an entire extra bar of power to be able to throw 2 special 2s sounds like something I really, really do not want to do against this particular opponent. And so I think the power start and the special 1 helps a lot. There we go, he triggered Mystic Dispersion again. Absolutely love that. He may not be running 5 points, though. That's okay. We're just going to keep chipping away into Doom, building back up to our special 3. Hopefully we can get another Pierce before we throw this. There we go. He blocks. I probably could have mediumed again into block and thrown the special 2, but I really did not want to be wrong and burn all of that power on a special 1. So we wait, we dance, we get around the aura, we hit into his block, and I end with a medium to make sure we don't invert our combo, because honestly I just want to keep going and getting more pierce. He keeps blocking, so we hit into him while the Fury's still up. Can we get him to do that again? Do another combo? Just barely, and there we go. So Doom down. Probably the hardest fight I took all season. And the last one I took all season. I do not know how many fights exactly off the top of my head I took this season. Probably not a ton. I had a lot of relatively short wars, where I just took a few important ones. But this is only my second Deathless season ever, and really, really happy to have that happen. It's tough to do. At really any level, honestly. So respect to anyone else who's managed to do that. But yeah, glad to have a second one. And hopefully, like I said, this is a Deathless season where we are also landing in Masters. Looking forward to rewards. Probably won't be opening most of them, because at this point I am pretty much on full save mode for the next feature. But, I don't know, maybe I'll have a rank 4 soon. Keep your eye out for that, and until next time, thanks so much for watching, and take care.